The old world is a big place, far bigger than the world we call home. And yet, despite its size, for some of its inhabitants, the world is a very small place. Such is the case for the Night Goblin tribe, the Green Cap Keepers, who live within a small network of caves and tunnels in the Black Mountains. To the Green Cap Keepers, the world was simple. To their north sat the Tree Raider tribe in their unusual, root-infested cave. To their south was the Top Dweller tribe, a strange tribe that spoke of other goblins in the deep. But the Green Cap Keepers had never seen them, so they probably weren't there. But there was something they had seen in the depths. Below the Green Cap Keepers lay a Skaven undercity. Though the Goblin tribe was of little consequence to most of the Skaven within, some fledgling warlords saw them as a chance to test the mettle of their Clanrats, and perhaps obtain a little bit of loot. As such, they regularly made attempts to raid the Green Cap Keepers. Thus far, the Green Cap Keepers had successfully pushed back every incursion. So frequent were the Skaven's attacks that the tunnel they used to attack became known as Ratpoke Pass. Even after it earned this name, 16 more invasions came from the depths and were pushed back. As the 17th invasion approached, the leader of the tribe, Smisk, knew that something had to be done. The last invasion had left their forces decimated, and if he didn't have something proper sneaky up his sleeve, his tribe would be in trouble. And that would mean he'd be in trouble after he antagonized the other two tribes at last year's peace meetings. Luckily, he already had a plan. When the Skaven chieftain, Voch Duskfang, led his Clanrats and slaves into the pass, he was dismayed to discover not just goblins waiting for him, but also mysterious, ferocious balls of teeth, dying to take a bite out of his soldiers. Well, that wouldn't be so bad. So long as they weren't taking a bite out of him, it'd be fine. And so he gave the order to attack, and the 17th Battle of Ratpoke Pass began. Today's game is a 150-point solo game of Warhammer Fantasy 6th edition Warbands, played between Skaven and Goblins. Both sides deployed more or less at the same time, as I had independently made plans for the two forces in advance. The first turn was rolled for, with the Goblins winning the roll-off and opting to go first. The Goblin army is led into battle by the Night Goblin big boss, Smisk. He is equipped with both shield and light armor. Accompanying him is a unit of 10 Night Goblins, equipped with just hand weapons and shields, and a unit of 5 Night Goblins equipped with short bows. Standing between them is a unit of 5 Night Goblins with pitchforks, spears, and trumpets, to push the 5 Squigs in front of them towards the Skaven ahead. The Skaven army is led by Voch Duskfang, a Skaven chieftain equipped with heavy armor and a shield. He has 3 units of 5 Clanrats, all carrying hand weapons and shields, and wearing light armor. Taking cover behind them is a unit of 6 Clanrat slaves equipped with slings. The game begins with both sides advancing. The Night Goblins march the main unit and Squig herders forward, while the bow-equipped Night Goblins move forward a bit slower. The Skaven advance slowly as well, trying to close the gap a bit and be ready to expose their slingers to allow them to open fire in the next turn. In the second Goblin turn, the archers stop and open fire on the Clanrats opposite them, and kill 2 of the Clanrats. Though they want to flee, the presence of Voch behind them, and the fact he'd certainly have them punished for cowardice, helps them stay in the fight. The rest of the Goblins continue pushing forward, putting the Skaven in a difficult position. Executing the original plan of moving the Clanrats aside to allow the slingers to fire would expose both units to charges on the flank, while charging the oncoming Goblins would leave the slingers with nothing to do. Ultimately, the Skaven decide to charge, and both units crash into the oncoming Goblins. The Clanrats facing the Night Goblins manage to kill 2 of them and take no casualties in return. With the press of the Goblin ranks and their superior numbers, the fight looks to be even for the moment. The other Clanrats don't fare so well. They fail to inflict any damage to the Squigs in front of them, and the Squigs get the chance to fight back, their ravenous appetites momentarily appeased as the entire unit of Clanrats is devoured. The Squigs surge forward, eager to find more to eat, while the herders hurry to keep up and rein them in. This leaves Voch in an awkward position, as he had moved along the flank of his Clanrats, ready to charge the Squig herd in the side, avoiding an honest fight and leaving his underlings to take the risks for him, in true Skaven fashion. The last unit of Clanrats continue making their way towards the Goblin archers, but cannot march due to the threat of the Squig herders and the fight going on nearby. Luckily for them, 2 Goblins have both claimed the same shot that killed one of the Clanrats, and a fight breaks out between them over who actually got the kill and which one of them is a dirty kill stealer. While the archers prove ineffective, the slaves manage to score a single kill with their slings, striking down a Squig as the herd charges into the fight. The Squigs don't perform as well here, their appetites satisfied for at least the next 3 minutes, and only one of them has the motivation to go for seconds and take a bite from a slave. Skaven are cowardly at the best of times, and their slaves already don't want to be involved in the fighting, so they need to roll a pair of 1s to stay in this fight. Unsurprisingly, they don't manage to, and turn tail and run, fleeing 10 inches to almost reach the end of the board. The herders once again try to hold the Squigs back, but they can't manage it, and they're forced to run after them, chasing them 3 inches before they can get the herd back under control. Meanwhile, in the center of the tunnel, the fight between the main unit of goblins and the Clanrats continues. Smisk stands behind the fight, surveying the results of his troops. Another one of them falls, but now the goblin formation isn't deep enough to put pressure on the Skaven as it was before, and when they fail to inflict any wounds, the combat results in another stalemate. Voch watches the Squig herd run past him, before turning and giving chase. If there is one thing a Skaven chieftain is skilled at, it's stabbing people in the back. He catches the unit in the rear, and strikes down 2 of the herders. This sends the remaining 3 into a panic, and they flee, letting the Squigs loose on the battlefield. Unfortunately for us, the battlefield is quite sparsely populated at this point in time, so the Squigs bouncing around fail to connect with anything before they bounce down the tunnel towards the Undercity or burst in excitement at being free. The Clanrats continue slowly chipping away at the Night Goblins, killing 1 this turn and still taking no casualties in return. Seeing his men failing to make any progress, Smisk finally makes his way around the flank to threaten a charge next turn. The fight continues with another 2 goblins falling, and finally the first Clanrat going down. This technically loses the fight for the goblins, but under the watchful eye of their boss, they hold steady for now. Voch tries to charge at Smisk, but falls short. His unit of Clanrats near the archers have far more luck, making their way through the ineffectual hail of fire to get into the fight with the archers, and cutting one of them down. The other Clanrats kill another goblin, and finally get them to break, sending them fleeing 7 inches, and giving chase for 6 inches. The Squig herders manage to regain their nerve, and begin rushing back towards the fight, threatening to catch up to Voch once more. Smisk sees that his foes are distracted, Voch by the herders, and the Clanrats by his fleeing allies, and takes the opportunity to fight dirty, charging the Clanrats in the rear and killing 1 of them. This sends the Clanrats fleeing after the Night Goblins, while Smisk chases after them, yelling crude taunts. Together, the 2 units flee from the battlefield, each convinced the other is about to rally and turn on them. On the southern side of the tunnel, the Clanrats successfully break the morale of the Goblin archers. With their job done, and seeing the shambles that is the rest of the fight, the Clanrats decide to stay put for the rest of the battle, aware that they wouldn't be able to reach the fight even if they wanted to. Voch gives in to the pressure of the Squig herders and turns to fight them. Over the course of his turn and the final Goblin turn, he strikes them all down, while Smisk hurries down the tunnel, emboldened by his success and ready to kill this upstart rat. Voch takes the bait, and on the final Skaven turn he charges at Smisk. The 2 exchange blows, Voch bashing his sword against Smisk's shield to no avail. Smisk strikes back, swinging low to bait Voch into dropping his shield before abruptly swinging high and catching him across the face, taking out an eye with a huge cut. Voch cries in pain and follows the example of his smartest warriors, turning and fleeing from the fight. Smisk gives chase, whooping at his victory, but fails to catch the rat. Probably for the best, as he knew full well he'd just gotten lucky, and any further conflict might see him taking a hit instead. Seeing their chieftain fleeing, the Clanrats slip away to regroup with him. Smisk stands tall at the pass, surveying his successful defense of the tribe, though to anyone with sense it's clear that this is far from a victory, as many of the tribe's warriors lay dead. With luck, the threat of the Squigs will keep the Skaven from returning any time soon, because they'd need that time to rebuild. Before we look at the tactics used, if you enjoyed this battle report, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more. Every bit helps the channel grow and ensure there are plenty more Warhammer battle reports to come. Next week will be a break from our usual Warbands content, as we have a 2,000 point battle between the Empire and Lizardmen, Voight's Folly. This battle will be picking up after the Twin River ambush and elaborating on the conflict between Kuno Voight and Uktel. But now, on to the tactics review. This battle is an interesting one. Technically speaking, the Skaven did win. The choice to charge the Goblin Big Boss was made purely to make the game interesting, and the charge only succeeded because I waived the rules a little bit. Without that, he would have fallen a quarter inch short. With that in mind, let's begin with the Goblins. For the most part, the Goblin strategy was solid. The Squig herders were the central focus of the army, and they successfully killed 2 units, though didn't quite pay for themselves in victory points. If the Night Goblins had been in a position to follow up on the fight instead of being killed by the Clanrats, the Goblin victory would be almost guaranteed. With that in mind, the big blunder was not moving Smisk forward to threaten the Clanrats on turn 3. Him holding position was an oversight that cost the Goblins the game. The skirmish on the southern side with the Clanrats and the Goblin Archers likely would have gone better for the Goblin side too, if not for the animosity roll. I did roll their attacks, and they successfully killed 1 Clanrat, which may have made the difference when they were charged. If that Clanrat had been the one who scored the kill, the Clanrats may have fled that turn, and again, the battle would have gone differently. On the Skaven side, I still conceptually love the plan to screen the Slingers. I did that to protect them from the bows before I knew where the bows were on the Goblin side of the field. Really, I think the main mistake was in moving them forward on the first turn. The Clanrats should have parted on the first turn when it was clear there was no threat to the slaves. Other than that, I think the Skaven side was played out effectively. There was a bit of good luck on their end, but again, they did technically win the battle without the final charge, so it's hard to criticize them for much else.